Hey everybody, and thank you for joining Dying of Exposure for some noontime nostalgia. My name is Steve, and we're gonna get into some Chrono Trigger here. Yeah, we're back at it. How is this gonna work? Well, the first thing we're gonna do is um, we're going to get some coals going on the hookah. Yeah, that's how I roll, Sean. Well, what's up, buddy? What's up? How you doing? Uh, no, I always like to start just after, like a cup, like 2, 3 minutes after. Yep, isn't that the way? Is to just do anything but work at work. Now, I spent the better part of from Saturday night to really last night slash early this morning. I took it. That is a good day. But yeah, making sure that I kind of fucked up on some of our videos for Through the Mill. I kind of uh, we do these fan videos for a series called Dimension 20, where we kind of talk. My partner and I sort of talk about the episode, and it's just a talk back series, and we do screenshots from the episode, which is fine, like screen stills from the episode. But we also use fan art, and in the fan art we make sure that the fan art for it is like visible so that you can see the original post of the person on Twitter or Facebook, whoever made it, Tumblr, what have you, Instagram, whoever made it is clearly shown in the video, so that it's not like pretending like we commissioned that art or did the art ourselves. But I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just like, oh, I'm just throwing this up. This is kind of for the Dimension 20 fan base. And these are people that post it and tag it on Twitter and Facebook. And I wasn't like in my artist brain. And so the artist reached out that says, you don't have us tagged in the description of the video. So yeah, people can see that you didn't make this, but they can't like go to our work. And you didn't really ask permission if we could be there. And so I felt pretty shitty for the past like day or so reaching out. And so I had to private a bunch of videos. And then I'm getting artist permission and adjusting and blurring and fixing videos so that I'm only using things with that. It's not like our channel's monetized, and I wasn't really even thinking about it in that term. I was like, this is literally videos for the same exact fandom that are looking at these art in these groups. But yeah, because of that, I didn't like actively think, oh wait, these are artists. I should like be like, hey, we're going to, we want to do this. So yeah. Essentially, I felt real crappy about it. So that's been whereas I don't work like a normal human being, that's basically been my job since I got back, or since about 11 o'clock Saturday night. I stayed up all night kind of aggregating a list and talking with some of the artists, and then I reached out to everybody yesterday, and that took about 7, 8 hours. And now and then later today I'll be like compiling their responses. Well, like they were in the right in the way that it was so easy that I could have asked them, and obviously putting their shit into the description. Cami, obviously putting their ship into the shit, their social or their link into the description is 1,000% better than it just being part of an image on a screen. And so, like, they were 100% right. All I had to do was ask. Even with this transgression, because we've been running these videos for a while, even with this, like 90+% of the artists are like apology accepted, not super happy that you did this, but I am fine with it as long as you do it in the right way, kind of thing. And so like that's super cool. So also hi. Yeah, it's the kind of thing that I should think about as like an artist, but my own personal like I don't care mentality kind of I think makes me thoughtless. I bet some people are wondering like why Chrono Trigger isn't yet happening, or at least on the screen. So let's at least fix that so that the little box is at least up. Currently in that hookah bowl situation. Like I'm gonna have to adjust the volume once this. Yep. There we go. It always starts real loud. There we go. Move this up here so that I can see it. Yeah, it's real weird thinking about it in like that kind of a way where it's like, like obviously I wouldn't ever want to make them feel like I was stealing their art or like taking advantage of it or like using it for my own benefit. It was just like, we talk about the episode, might as well corral up all the fan art of the property that we watch. But yeah, it was super thoughtless, and I'm super glad that there were a couple or like a couple artists that reached out to me directly across like a bunch of platforms. And yeah, that really helped things along. Which time egg am I on? 21. I think this one. So I figured something out that I shouldn't have been doing this part yet. And so in figuring that out, I'm leaving. Yeah, certainly, Hammy. There were a lot of artists that just didn't even care. They're like, "Oh, cool, no, this is totally fine." But like, I know that that's not all artists, right? I'm aware of that, and so, oh yeah, I didn't need to do this. And so I should have been on it more. And been like just check in with it, because then like I haven't yeah I don't know where my head was at. I never even thought about it at the moment, and so yeah, I'm updating those videos throughout this week, and then they'll be back up on the site. And the video that we're going to publish tomorrow about it, I'll only be using art from the people that have explicitly like given permission, and I'm letting them know like which pieces of their art that I kind of plan to use. So that's kind of my task today, getting all that lined up, getting all those ducks in a row, I think. Mostly. There we go. What's up, Sam? How you doing? How are you doing? Okay, now that I'm here, I can set up my bowl. Not going to do anything too complicated. I have straight, regular mint today, so I have a bunch of other flavors, but I don't want to take a ton of time concocting them. Update to where we're at in the game. Chrono is gone. He's dead. We got Magus on the party. We're talking about potentially. We're talking about replacing Chrono, doing the whole mission where you go grab his doll. Yeah, that's pretty much the consensus of these noontime nostalgias, is that a lot of people are like, I'm hanging out because I don't want to work, essentially. And that's 100% okay. This is like essentially the first social break that I've taken. I'm pretty much, until I fix all this stuff with the fan art for Dimension 20, I'm pretty much doing that almost full time. Yeah. So so do you literally just freeze coffees into popsicles, Cammy? Is that what you do? You monster. No, that sounds good. Like, I'm not a coffee drinker, but beep 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 beep. Yeah, we're just setting up the hookah bowl. Oh, you bought them, you lazy and terrible person. No, it's 100% fine. Buy all of your food. Yeah, Twitch is my excuse to play retro video games. Like, that's literally, and more D&D. Like, I use it as a crutch where it's like, oh, I'm Twitch streaming it, so, like, it's content, and that's kind of in line with what I've been playing around with. And so I use it to my advantage there. Yeah, absolutely escapism. It's like this and getting into, like, semantics and political debates. That's what I do to unwind. But, yeah, I wanted an excuse to go back and play some good retro JRPGs. And so I'm like, if I Twitch stream them, then, you know, it's an arm of dying of exposure. After I fix all this, really just after the season of Dimension 20, I can get back into dying of exposure properly and sort of correct it so that when we start doing more content for that, later we're more prepared. Cooking is, like, I'm happy for people that like to cook. I hate it. Oh. I have more there. I just had to pause to flip the coals. I really dislike cooking. I really don't enjoy it. I do it, or maybe not today because it's too hot to cook today. But I try to do it as part, because it's, you know, part of being a house spouse is that you cook for your spouse. But it's not my favorite thing to do. I find it mostly frustrating or time consuming. Yeah, Sean, yeah, that makes sense. Popsicles out of vanilla pudding and peach slices. That does sound good, Sam. Popsicles or event cooking also sounds good. But Sean, I'm with you. I didn't, honestly, until maybe 6 months ago, I really didn't pursue a lot of Twitch. It just wasn't my thing. I'd be busy with other stuff. But like a year ago, I didn't listen to podcasts at all, and now I listen to nonstop actual play D&D podcasts. Like that's what I do, is listen to those things. And so yeah, when I started through the mill because of the shutdown of the pandemic and the quarantine and everybody being more available for D&D, it was an option to turn it into a Twitch stream. And I was like, oh, that'd be cool. It won't be like super edited like an actual play podcast or something, but it'll be fun to just kind of play D&D on Twitch and talk with friends and stuff. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, I could also Twitch stream during the afternoons like a retro video game type thing, and then that's Noontime Nostalgia came up. And I'm like, oh, I can just play old JRPGs I grew up with. Great. Yeah, Cammy knows about that Through the Mill game, what with them being in it. Yeah, no, I love playing it. I gotta message Dandy, make sure they're back in this episode or not. So we can start getting to that climax. Start getting to this big battle. Hey, Josh. Jarps. Hey, Josh, we should just argue about the nature of the word violence over this Twitch stream and just drag this entire chat down. What do you say? I'm just gonna get on you with semantics of violence and semantic language arguments. Yeah, no. Hard pass, indeed. Alright, we got the coals. They is on. Yeah, it's real hard. You know, Josh and I are strongly opinionated and politically opinionated, and we generally agree on almost everything. But there's certain times that we don't, and then gotta argue about it on the internet, where the argument's always the best, right? Okay, what the fuck am I doing? I gotta go to the end of time. Get off this boy. Figure out what the shit I'm doing. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, Sam. Through the Mill, I'm always very excited to play it. Josh is really good on it. Camille's, Cammy, Cloth and Pop and Cammy are very good on it. And it's real fun. It's still like, I still wish that we could all gather and play in a room, but that's not doable right now. And it definitely helps go through it. Yeah, I know. You're listed on the videos by that name as well, so like I know it's not. Oh, right. That's fair. I end up accidentally eating less meat, simply by being too lazy to make things. That's tough. That's rough. I didn't know you had gout, Cloth and Pop. I didn't know you had gout. I'm not gonna deny it's gonna make me want to sing, the gout version of the song Shout, where it's just you replace the word shout with gout. Gout. I have caught gout. These are the things I can't eat now. Come on. Yeah, gout's tough. It sucks. You go back. I'm only doing this because I did this last time. I loaded the wrong save, but it's okay. No, I don't want to take Marl. Not right now. Perfectly good person. Perfectly good in combat. Powerful healer. Great spells. Yeah. A couple of my relatives had gout. Yeah, it happens a lot too because our entire diet in the West is all kinds of fucked, and all of the easy food is like terrible for us and gives us the likelihood of having similar diseases to the wealthiest people of the past, even though we're eating like just like casual trash food, right? Like Five Guys is not a meal of glory, right? Yeah. It's weird what like we're all willing to accept as people, Cloth and Pop. Like I have the same thing where I'm just like, "Oh, I'm sure this is just what people experience and never talk about. Like sometimes this is just something that's in pain." And like I ignore the fact that that wasn't always the case with my body. So I'm just like, I'm sure this is just something I live with now rather than trying to like solve the problem or like find out what if there is a problem. Dumb work meeting. Yeah, it's we are in a very weird food state, and by we I mean yes, America, of course, like the U.S., of course, but really the easily food accessible world. Um, and I'm not even saying, and in this case, that includes people in food deserts that don't have like supermarket options. Like all of the cheapest and easiest access food that we have as a population is weirdly it's weirdly like really terrible for us. And it's funny because it's not like it's certainly cheaper than like fresh food, but like there's versions of it that would be cheaper that are still there. Like Japan's got the convenience store meals down to a science with like a little bit of rice and like a little bit of chicken or a little bit of seafood in like that's changed out every day or two from like a 7-Eleven in Japan, and you can just get like a little like hand meal right there. And stuff. And so certain areas, Korea's got this too, have this like certain like quick buy food meals that are pretty reasonable. Like maybe you'll get some cabbage and usually either some chicken or fish and stuff like that with a sauce on it, and that's fine. And so it's definitely a more of a Western problem, but it's also prevalent in Europe at this point. I think it's yeah. You definitely eat a lot of Asian snacks, a lot of Asian snack food, Josh, and a lot of Asian food, which is delicious and fully understandable. But yeah, I don't think we think about food insecurity right. Like I wouldn't have ever personally thought I was food insecure, but there's deliberately a period of time where I would have essentially about $25 a week to spend on food And so I'd essentially, I worked at a restaurant, so 3 to 4 shifts a week, I would get like a meal for working the restaurant, and then otherwise, I'd pretty much eat like bread, cheese, and A1 steak sauce, or like peanut butter toast, or like ramen. And that is technically being food insecure, is being like, okay, I have to buy exactly this and eat exactly this, or else I run out of money and can't buy more food. If your bill is that you can only spend X amount on food, and if you run out of money, you won't be able to buy food, even if you're eating 2 to 3 meals a day, that's food insecurity. You should just never be out of food. You should never have the thought. It's not nearly as bad as people who are struggling to even get the 2 to 3 meals, but it still technically counts, right? It still absolutely should be categorized like that. Yeah, exactly. See, I like food that I can prepare with nothing but a fry pan, which is a lot of food, so that's very fortunate. One of our friends that many of the people in this chat room know, Iggy, is one of our friends is it makes this Mizithra pasta that's pretty much all made in a pan, and it works real well, and it's delicious, and it's super tasty. And Mizithra cheese is always a good choice, and it's just these nice, like, it's basically like a fancy version of oiled butter noodles with seasonings and Mizithra pasta and Mizithra cheese, and it's like the only kind of like noodle Italian dish I'll eat that isn't heavily sauced. All right, where am I going? Long Mac. Good name. I think I'm going to the future. I love this, like, the epoch music. I'm so glad I got the ship now. Ship lets you fly around and see where things are. You're like, ooh, I could go there. What's there? Couldn't go there before. This is a good system. You give someone an airship, and then you reveal sections of the planet that they couldn't get to without the airship. I think this is the Sunstone Temple. This is a mistake that's going to make me replay a lot of this game. Well, that's what I get for just wandering around without saving first. That's what I get for doing that. So, looks like I'm going to have to be... Yep, that's what I get for fucking around. There we go. Yeah, no, this is my relief period of the day too. Even when it's ruined by Flare. And we get to one of my favorite animations of the game. So if you have Magus in your party and you have him in the lead position and he sits down on the throne, he laughs because this was, of course, the throne of the evil fiend lord. And so there's like a little it's like, what happens if Magus sits on the throne? A little Easter egg. All right, so we're gonna go through that conversation again. Oh, wrong one. Back to the end of time. Okay. All right, and then you gotta look like you're gonna leave, and then he's like, hey. This game has a lot of those like implicit moments where it's like you have to physically like look like you're like, well, I don't know what to do, so I guess I'm just gonna head out, and then the game's like it rushes an NPC out to kind of talk to you or like brings you back. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is save here. That's the first thing we're gonna do. Second thing we're gonna do is hit up this thing. And the third thing we're gonna do is go back to the future. But we're not gonna go to the Sun Temple. We're gonna go where we're supposed to. Now learn our lesson and do the game. Like, the game itself opens itself up to you, and so it almost immediately expects you to, like, fuck around. And I think he's here. But I might be wrong. I'm trying to remember where the Time Guru is. I think he's here, actually. Nope, that's where you land. That's on me. Yeah, trying to remember where people are that I want to talk to is always a hard part of the game. And like, I could look it up, but I can also just go to areas. I know he's not in the factory here. I know he's not in there or there. So maybe he is just like fucking like right here. Yeah. It's the kind of thing where if I played this more than just Mondays and Thursdays, potentially. Yeah, here he is. There we go. And so now, because I'd played this game before, I go back and I get Chrono's Death Doll. But that's not what we're going to do. Oh no. No, my friends. You'd think that it's like, okay, I see what you're going to do. You're going to get into this, and you're going to get some Death Doll. Or you're going to go get the Doppel and then go get Chrono back. But what about all of my other characters? Don't they need Doppel dolls? Not because of the story, but because of completionism. And the answer is yes. So now we get into the most exciting part about Chrono Trigger. Mini games. This is depressing. It's right over poor Melchior's house, too. Let's see if he has anything to say about it. I think... Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, doll collecting is a time-honored tradition. God damn it, Magus looks so, like, dramatic for fucking this area. It's like, oh, let's go to the fun, thing. Dash. See how Magus does in some of these games. There you go. Silver points. Okay. I believe the fastest way for me to earn these silver points will be the same way that it was last time. Right back where we started. Hope you wanted me to watch me battle this robot a bunch, because that's what's happening. And lets me talk. And lets me chit-chat with the wonderful people that are hanging out in chat with me. This is quite accurately the fastest way to earn silver points, which I need to go get doll figurines of all of my other party members and other cats and shit like that. This is like I would call this a flaw in the game design here, in the way that this is obviously the optimal strategy for earning silver points as fast as possible. And at the beginning of the game, it works real well because it also helps you kind of grind up some levels. Yeah, I know, right? Like, this crew comes in, a robot, a frogman, and someone who's some sort of, like, evil elf demon, essentially, comes in, and he's like, we're gonna fight. But yeah, at the beginning of the game, this is a great little thing to kind of grind up a couple levels and give you some silver points to you know, sort of fuck around with in the in that one booth. However, at this point in the game, there's no challenge to it, and you know, there you go. This guy can never find his fucking lunch. No. Wouldn't mind exchanging gold for silver, though. Still the same thing. Same thing you said as last time. Let's do the beer drinking contest. You're too intense. Just for funsies. Yeah, I'm guessing these are pies. I think they're supposed to be, like, in the tradition of prehistoric food. So I thought it'd be funny to bring Ayla out. Alright, there's enough of that. Yeah, he won't drink with non-humans, which is a little racist. Okay, this is where you got to game the system a little bit. You want to save before you do this, so you can just load into it. Otherwise, you're gonna Gonna get fucked. See what I said? Like, I failed that, and so now I've gotta redo it. And so I don't think I can load. But I might be able to. Nope, so I gotta turn off the game. And then reload that bad boy. And just to make sure that I'm doing this right. So it's laugh, surprise. Okay, we're going to do the clone thing. Yeah, indeed, Cammy. Indeed. 100% accurate on that pirate event hot take. Left arm, right arm. Left arm, right arm. Laugh and surprise. Laugh, surprise, laugh, surprise, left, right, laugh, surprise. Nope. Fucked it up. This is always kind of a pain in the ass for me to do. I'm real bad at these games, but I want all of their clones. Left arm, right arm. Laugh, surprise. Laugh, surprise, laugh. Laugh is why. God damn it. I always hit surprise. Go get some more points with Gatto. This is what you came to watch, right? Me just fail at mini games and then beat up this robot. Right? It's a little cathartic. If you think of Gatto as like a fax machine or like an access point that's not properly letting you connect, or like a VPN that's failing, you can get some catharsis out of it. I've always wanted to cosplay as Gatto and like a thing. But I don't want to go through the effort of making armor. But like, he's a great big cat man that's fully covered, and I could easily... Yeah, it definitely would require some sort of like internal air conditioning. Oh my god, he got an attack off because I wasn't quite fast enough. You know what? We're going to bring the game volume down a little bit more. Oh, the punching glove would actually be really easy. I've already looked into that. I'll turn the volume down real low. So it's minimal annoying. Yeah. You can get little remotes that trigger pneumatic things via Bluetooth. And so you just pop it on that, and then you just have it be like kind of like a light fab or like a cardboardy or very like simple thing, and then you have a little punching glove in front of you. Yeah, that part would be absolutely necessary in my mind. And then I'd have to memorize his little songs. Maybe have little like buy a bunch of little like silver plastic chits to give people if they want to like take pictures. Get a nice big oversized like toy karaoke kids mic for the microphone so that it's into scale. Come on. Talk to him. There we go. This is the kind of exciting content you can expect on Noontime Nostalgia with Steve. So if you do the math, let's say I got everyone right from like the first thing. Let's say I got everyone right. So you do the math and you find out that you've got to get appropriate clones, you've got to get 240 silver pieces together. This is not even doing the cat food, where you got to get 15 units of cat food to get maximum cats, or 14 units. I can't remember, but let's say it's 15. But we're gonna just start with the clones. So 240 divided by 15 is 24 less a quarter. 240. Let's see. 15 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 16 battles with Gato, plus the original battles you had to do. So like a solid 19 battles with Gato to get all the clones. And then on top of that, you can get 15 cat foods to get maximum cats at the tail end of the game. Because the more cat foods you have, the more cats hang out at Chrono's place. And so you can get up to 15 of them. And so that's another 600, which is, of course, 4 times 20. So that's another 80 battles with Gato. It's ridiculous. It's like 80 total. Maximum cats. Welcome back, Sam. Welcome back from your meeting. We're just whooping on Gato for a while. You came back at the most exciting point. Millennium Fair mini games. But yeah, so in one of the endings, or in multiple endings, you can see Chrono's house afterward, and the number of cats that you have to have at least 1 cat food, but the number of cats you can have is 15, and so getting 15 cat foods, which is 600 things, and so 4 times 6 is 24, so that's another 24 battles on top of the initial 19, so that's 34, 43 battles with Gato to get your, and that's assuming you never fuck up the Mimic game, the Simon Says-y game. But yeah, I was talking about potentially one day cosplaying as Gato. I get little because he's so wide, wider than I am, what I'd probably do is get it so that I could get my arms through at a little bit of a distance, and then have my hands actually in the big gauntlets, but toward the middle of them, and then have little claw hands that I use, grippers, to manipulate, to kind of make him as in proportion as possible. But yeah, I'd have to do some plastic molding and definitely some painting. So with the stomach, what I would probably do on the stomach for cosplay is I would probably let's look at how he animates his stomach opening. Okay, so it looks like the theory is that it actually opens at the split. Yeah, so it needs to be something actually really false and light, so that the pneumatic boxing glove could just definitely just opens at the top. So the pneumatic boxing glove could just punch through it and open it automatically as a hinge. And so I'd probably actually do something like shaped hardened waxed cardboard. Yeah, barbecue lid would be great for the mold for it, though. So I'd do like a waxed cardboard so that it still has like a shine and a gloss and a gleam. And then I'd end up doing like a base coat, and then spray painting it on. Oh, you can't give me more points. Well, then I better go do the thing. And then I'd make sure that the bottom was just regular plastic, the gray part, and the top could just flap open on a hinge, and then close when the glove retracts. Yeah, there'd be a lot of fun. Like, this would be an easy cosplay to, like, you do it for a while, and then you paint it in kind of the blues and tans and make it like a Gatto meets Snorlax costume and make that a Pokeball in the center. And then you could repaint it again and do it as a Totoro meets Gatto costume. Yeah, right? And it's like I'd be fully encased. Yeah, how many points do I have? Well, we'll find out. All right, 5 chances. How'd you like Totoro, Sam? How'd you like My Neighbor Totoro? I'm a fan of the movie, but how did you like it? Laugh, surprise, laugh, surprise, laugh, surprise, laugh. Stressful. And then you change your party up. You know what? We're just gonna go out and save. Yeah, it is an extremely cute movie. Just the hookah coals. No, I'm a yeah, cat bus is that's what people often I think it's part of what makes those Miyazaki films so good is that people often forget that he's very good about the kind of like gentle scariness of his fantasy worlds and the very kind of like classic fantasy tale kind of mindset. And so like Cat Bus and various things from the Miyazaki world that even might be friendly are also a little terrifying. Yeah, it's something that's absolutely a part of fantasy, and are of those older fairy tales. And I'm glad that Miyazaki like puts it in his pieces. Did it again. Did it again. Every time. Laugh and surprise. Alright, motherfucker. Let's do this. Oh, Jesus. That's what I get for not paying attention to where my thumb was positioned. Yeah, well, Princess Mononoke is like one of the like serious ones, right? Like it's the most serious Miyazaki film. All right, I love the people that come into Twitch. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch some Chrono Trigger," and then it's like, "Oh, you're at a part that's not very exciting." Sorry, for anyone that joins the Twitch and is like, "I'm gonna watch some storied Chrono Trigger." I'm sorry, I'm trying to get all my clone dolls. And I'm not very good at this Mimic game anyway. I already have Chrono's doll, had Chrono's doll. Well, thank you, Corpo. I'm glad that you are enjoying this as much as I am. Laugh is Y, surprise is B. Laugh, surprise. Left. Oh, they were moving me a lot on the map on that one. Normally when it's simple, normally when it gets fast, usually it like sticks to the arms or hits you with like repeated ones to kind of throw you off, which I'm a little better with. But yeah, that's oof. Yeah, the way this game is built is that over the time you have to get faster with your responses. So we're just gonna go out and save again. Just because it makes me feel better. And then party-wise, we got Frog, we got Robo, so now we gotta do Magus. And all of his drama. Let me race with you. Aha! I glide, so difficult terrain doesn't affect me. By the way, Cammy, I'm super excited for Through the Mill for the next couple sessions. To get to this kind of climactic thing I've got planned for you all. And so I'm very, very enthusiastic to get to it. I'm so ready for tomorrow night. For those in the room, tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Through the Mill. Alright, motherfucker. Let's do this right the first time on Magus. Laugh, surprise, laugh, surprise, laugh, surprise. Oh, his surprise is like nothing. Got a little lucky there. I accidentally had a little slippage on my thumb, but I happened to hit the laugh button just barely before the left arm input. Oof. Very little has me more stressed than this minigame in my life. It's almost like doing this task repeatedly has made me slightly better at it. Alright, I think... Do I have enough for one more before I have to go back to Gatto? No. Failed twice. Okay, so that got this squad done. You know what? Just because it's fun. And it's like they're earning it themselves. Let's switch the party to the group that I need points for. Earn my immortality. Yeah, secret strategy on this. While you're doing this, if you mix up your party, even though Gatto's only giving you 1 tech point, a lot of times you'll accomplish properly in the battles, learning the dual techs and triple techs of those party members. Okay, let's do the math real quick. So I had 0, now I have 30. I need to do 120, which means I need to fight Gatto 8 times. 8 times, is that right? Yeah. 30, 30, 30, 30. So that's 8 times to get that, to get the 3 for this group. And then I need another at least 1 cat food. I'll do the other cat foods, if I remember, off camera, off stream, so that people don't have to watch another ridiculous number of battles. And that's assuming I don't fuck any of the other ones up. Come on, talk. There we go. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Sam. Like I said, this has a weird level of tension for me because I don't want to fail at it. And so it's a weird level of, come on, talk to him. There we go. Fortunately, Ayla's lightning fast. Marl and Luca are a little bit slow, but Ayla's super fast. And so the battle still moves quickly. It's so frustrating because, like, in reality, I like all of these characters to a fairly equal degree. And so it's frustrating when I'm, like, out and about. Because, like I like Ayla. I like Marl, especially as a caster. But I like Magus, and I love Frog, and I love I love Robo, and I like Luca. So it's, like, it's real hard because normally a JRPG gives me just like a few characters I like, and so it's easy to make that my end team, like my main group. Grinding them Sylvies. Alright, I've immediately lost count of how many fights I've had, so after this one I'm just gonna go, and we're gonna try it again. The idea of critting on Gatto is super cruel. Like, I do 700 damage. I think you have like 100 hit points. I obliterate you. Alright, we're back in it. How many points do I have, Grandma? Alright. Oof. Focus up time. Laugh, surprise, laugh, surprise. Laugh, surprise, left, right. Surprise. God. That's on me. That's on me. Too excited. Too excited. Too tense. Get in the right headspace. It's weird that this is like the challenging thing for me. Always blame myself. Laugh surprise. Gets me every time. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just keep at it. There it is. Alright, let's go do that drinking contest, because I think I can get one more just doing that. Or do it a couple times. I like that it's Ayla no matter what. It's Ayla and it's Chrono, and that's how you can do the drinking contests. Everyone else is too reasonable. Okay. And then because it always makes me feel better, even though it means nothing, I go out and I save, feeling like that's a bookend to the success of me getting one of them. See if I can get the second one. Oh, gotta make sure to change out party. Yeah, Ayla is. I've said this before. Ayla's my favorite character in Chrono Trigger. Like the fandom, of course, being the way fandoms are, they tend to be like, who likes Marl and who likes Luca? And it's like Ayla's clearly, if you're shipping Chrono with anyone, even though Ayla's backstory has like a romantic interest built in between NPCs, it's Ayla, 100%. Loud, powerful, like rough around the edges, very classic kind of an anime trope. Plus that run animation for Ayla is so good. Just all fours claw catting. Absolute goblin, right? Absolute goblin. No, Ayla, like, animations wise, Ayla, Magus, and Frog have the good run animations. Robo's is right under there, and then of course Luca, Marl, and Chrono have like normal human, sort of like we run, like people run. You know what? You are 100% right. Chrono and Robo forever. Chrono and Frog, like, I'm a big Frog fan. I like Magus as like a character I can use, but I'm not big into the edgy, sad, emotional redemption story thing. And 90s Tom Hiddleston Magus, which was who would play Magus in a Chrono Trigger movie adaptation. That's an interesting little thing. Who would I cast to play these characters in a movie? See, for some reason, Cammy, I don't blame the shortness. I just like to think that you're just super drunk all the time, and so you have to crawl upstairs. You're like pirate event level drunk. All the time. Alright, I should have 40. Alright, let's do this. Laugh, surprise, laugh, surprise, laugh, surprise, laugh, surprise. You gonna be doing the kiddie pool this evening? It's definitely cooking up today. Oh, that was on me. On me, I accidentally, like, fat fingered it, basically. Alright, let's go whoop on Ghetto a little bit more. What do I need? 2, 4, 6? 6 of them? 6 of them. Alright, I know that several of the players would be fine with a fans only through the mill, where we're all in kiddie pools and bathing suits, or maybe not bathing suits. Have to convince Cloth and Pop on it. I think Brandon and Cloth and Pop would be the harder sells on that one. I know Dandy wouldn't care. I don't care. Celine definitely wouldn't care, and neither would Greg. And obviously, you're offering it. We could do a fun thing where I do like a real panned out camera, like a real mounted away camera, and we just all sit in kiddie pools in my backyard and play D&D. Yeah, no, absolutely. In the world of Through the Mill, the like the kind of like stripy shorts and dress shirt, or like full body swimsuits are the thing. No, I'd absolutely wear one of those like black masks, those like see-through black masks, and I would also 100% get the yellow LED glow eyes. Let's see what this link is. Get in on this link. Oh, yeah, yeah. Today's episode of Noontime Nostalgia with Twitch, or with Steve, for Dying of Exposure, is sponsored by old-fashioned bathing suits. Old-fashioned bathing suits. People used to actually go in the water in these outfits. Many of them, the nicer ones were linen. But yeah, essentially. That was back when clothes were just heavier. Like, a lot of people don't really think about this historically. Up until you know, modern manufacturing and textiles, most like day-to-day clothes were just physically heavier. Like a good or extremely spun thinner. So like in your industrial area, and definitely the era where we're talking about that that kind of bathing suit fashion, most men's work pants were actually full canvas, right? And they were usually pretty aggressively sturdy. It's what led to kind of the denim standard jean being there. And then if you didn't have that, your dress clothing, I mean, like, even if you think about it now, for men, dress pants are very thin, light fabric by comparison. Casual slacks are cottony, but like your like nicer dress fabrics are actually really thin. And same thing with sundresses and things like that. So think about a world where you could only wear durable outdoor exterior wear or super thin fabric. And then you begin to understand how like layering and everything would work in fancier clothes, because there was just no way to do like a poly blend where it would contain the heat more. All right, that should be enough. So what's weird is I'm not a seamstress or so. I actually don't really do a lot of cosplay or stuff. That's more my partner Kelsey's jam. They've done full leather armor Batgirl outfits. Batwoman really, but kind of more of a Batgirl theme, where they've made like a corset that had enough shaping and hard leathering that it was armor grade, and chainmail and things like that. And then they've done things like, you know, like a Speed Racer or an 80s Princess Peach. They have a really fun mimic costume where they have a giant chest we found, and they put like little teeth and everything, and you open up the lid and the eyes open up and everything. And so yeah, they're the cosplayer. I do, when we can next go to a convention, have a costume set in the Kipo and Age of the Wonder Beasts as one of the mod frogs. I've got a head for it. I've got like the various accessories I need for it, a tie that's clipped, and stuff for it. And then they have a Lumbercats, the Lumberjack Cats costume that they have ready that we were going to wear for Emerald City Comic Con this year together. But yeah, no, I just like thinking about that. There's so many aspects about culture in history where we don't think about like the little functions and how they shaped life and design and fashion. Like most everybody understands that covering yourself up more was a normal thing in classic culture, but they don't necessarily understand why. Like, why were most peasant dresses long peasant dresses? Well, that's because from essentially mid-fall through late spring, if you're in Europe, it was too cold to be wearing anything that was knee-cut. You didn't have houses with heat a lot of times. Once the sun went down, it would chill out quite aggressively. And so, all right, let's do this. Laugh, surprise. What a great surprise react. There it is. All right, we go out and save. Are you talking about Widget the World Watcher, Corpo? Are you talking about Widget the World Watcher? If I had the ability to like gift for good comments, I would gift you something for good comments, because a Widget the World Watcher reference is just top shelf. That's a top shelf reference right there. Whoa, whoa, Widget the World Watcher, whoa, whoa, Widget the World Watcher. I used to watch that in a block of cartoons with Denver the Last Dinosaur. Okay, let's see if I can do Luca right here. Laugh, surprise, laugh, surprise, laugh, surprise. Nope, did it again. Did it again. I always want to go to that surprise button. It's crazy. All right, let's go fight Gatto a little bit more. Let's see. That means I have 15. Something like that. 25. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 fights with Gatto. All right, so pants for the Gatto cosplay. What will we do for the pants? Probably just like black or gray leggings for the pants, and then like honestly, probably just a modified gray Zentai suit would be what I'd be wearing under everything, because that would also handle the arms. And you don't fall over. That's the key, is that is not a costume you can fall over. Every cosplay, when you're doing a big costume like this, like a Gatto, you need a costume. You need like a squire, essentially, a cosplay squire. I've done it for my partner Kelsey a number of times. They have the mimic costume is something that they can barely see in. And so I act as their squire, make sure that they have, you know, like can stay hydrated with water, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a clutch. If you fall over, you're gonna hurt your costume, so you've got to be very cautious. Also, a costume that big, like, I'm gonna want it to go down to kind of you know, past my normal inseam, past my crotch, essentially. So I'm gonna want that costume to come down to about mid-thigh. Now I'm 6.5 feet tall, and so that means I'm looking at about a 4-foot shell. So what I'd probably do is I'd probably do the front and back halves as individual plates that like attach to each other through something simple like Velcro. And so you'd see a seam along the top of the shoulders and the sides, just so I could move the costume around and transport it. The helmet would be super easy. The gauntlets and the like little like calf armor would be great. And then for shoes, dress shoes. You can even see, because they've overshadowed it, that you could get away with having little like black stirrups to keep the shin guards up to the knee correct. My only dissatisfaction with this, and that's just because I'd want to real world it as close as possible, is because I'm so tall, because I'm so very tall. The shin, like the foot to knee ratio, would be a little extended there. I'd do what I could by making the kind of like kneecap bulbous portions a little low and bigger, to kind of accentuate that, and then by increasing the height of the costume and having it come down to kind of mid to lower thigh, so that it's just above there, I'd kind of get away with it. But essentially, you know, that would be what I do, and then have that little tabard in front. A key function of the costume would be to have that little, like, you see how he's got like a little like bit of pant bloomer fill, like a little ruffle bloomer, and so you'd want to get like, either, if you could find it, you know, you could do that, but I would just probably do some like simple puffy fabric that has a lot of gathers and pleatings at the top and bottom of it, to sort of make that little like puffy bottom thing, and I just call that fabric. How would you pee in it? Well, so that would be the key, right? I'd make sure that that if I removed one of my gauntlet hands, which again wouldn't be my actual fingers at the end. Those would actually be, my hands would go to kind of like the middle of the gauntlets themselves, and then I'd have like a claw controller. So if I removed one of those, like released one of those, I'd probably make it so that I kind of had to hold on to them to keep them in place. Then I'd make sure that my arm itself could reach my pants. And then I'd probably then make it so that I'd cut a hole in the crotch of the Zentai suit so that I could just kind of pull down the front thing, pee, benefit of being a male, lift up my flap, kind of angle back on my body to get clearance from the armor, and then kind of stand pee. I would definitely go to the bathroom before this, and then not really eat until after I was done, and this would definitely be like a 3 to 4 hour cosplay that I'd then go undress and put away. A good warm-up to this would actually be doing a Robo cosplay, because he's got a much more scaled down but kind of barrel shape, and so you could get good with that. And then, you know, you just have to paint that and have his cool little backpack. I think that was everyone. No, I still haven't done Luca right. There it is. So that's the last of the doppels that I need. How many silver points do I have? Do I have any? 45. Let's let's see if I can get the cat food. And we're good. That is what I will call successful. I've gotten all the doppels and the cat food, so that at least the cat that I have in my house is good. And so now I can go and pick up Chrono's fucking doll. This entire session has been brought to you by me dying and having to repeat stuff and constantly oh, look at the little cat. Who do I want my party? Let's do ladies for this one. Nope. There we go, and we'll do... Nope. We'll do love the cat noise in this. Super sad, lying to his mother. Which, of course, you're gonna do. You're gonna lie to his mother. Does anything change if Luca talks to her parents? Since I'm here, might as well check. It's a big trade-off for that magic defense. What's everyone else's magic defense? Her magic defense is fine already. Yeah, I love this consistency that Taban's always got, like, shit for you. See if my mother says anything. I just sit by this window. Yeah, there's a question that Luca's mom is dealing with some significant depression, which is concerning. Alright, let's flip the party to the squad that we like. You know what? Let's go with this group. I like this group. There's a commentary here as well on the fact that in your time, when things are at their kind of like most peaceful, right? That there's the most landmass and there's the most population. I think this is a side quest. Yeah, Toma doesn't live very long. He dies somewhere in his 40s because in 600 AD he's got to be a kid still. So yeah, Toma doesn't have a lot of life. But yeah, all this landmass here is real fun. It's just fun, right? Like, it's cool that you're like, okay, I kind of know what this time looks like and everything. Here's your sunstone. I'm kind of aware of what's going on, and then you get your Epoch gets the ability to fly around, and you get all this stuff that you couldn't have possibly gotten to. It's good level design. It's good mystery reveal, and I like it. I like it. It's what makes this game so fucking good. All right, let's go back to the future. Back to our boys spot. Right here. I always do that. I'm always like, oh, you gotta go around. And then you don't. You don't have to do that. Oh, it's just mint, Corpo. It's nothing. I had a few different flavors. I got some watermelon and some orange and strawberry and other things. A little bit of plum left, and some peach, of course. But I just went with straight mint for this this session because it's what I have the most of right now. Just Alpha Kier's mint. Who do I want actually in this party? I think I want and then there. I like trying to pick once you can pick who talks, like. And we let the time guy, we let Balthazar rest finally in this. Yeah, so for those that don't know the game well, Balthazar, the prophet, basically the Oracle of Time from the Zeal era, which is Zeal's antiquity, and so that's 12,000 BC, got pushed into the future, 2300 AD. When Lavos was accidentally summoned from the underwater palace. At that point, he started working on some stuff and then his mortal form passed, but he downloaded himself into that new so that he could still exist, and he's how you get the epoch. And so he's probably been alive. I think he actually goes into the future at the Cataclysm, so he's been alive for a few hundred years by himself in that construct, in a sort of half-life. So turning him off is sort of like letting him finally rest. It's a real significant moment. But you know what, actually, I think in reality, I'm just going to save out. This is a good point to pause before I go get Chrono's body back. I know this was a weird session where essentially y'all just kind of watched me play minigames. Watch me play minigames to get all of the things. But so be it. Like, that's just sort of what happened. And so you got some nerd conversation, some casual shit there. I will be back streaming. Next stream is 7:30 p.m. for Through the Mill, as we come to the climactic episodes of the big first chapter. And so that'll be 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night Pacific time, and then at Thursday is Noontime Nostalgia. Follow us on the YouTube, the Facebook, and the Twitter at Dying of Exposure, and then here on Twitch, as well as over on Instagram, dying_of_exposure is the tag. And we will be back at it. We will be back at it again for more Chrono Trigger at noon on Thursday. Thank you to Cloth and Pop, Corpo, Cammy, Sam, Sean Solo was in here talking earlier, for chatting with me and keeping me company this afternoon. I hope you all have a wonderful as it possibly can be Monday. Thank you very much, Sam. You all have a good rest of your day, and I'll be seeing some of you again tomorrow night. Bye.